The Geezer in the Freezer by Randall Wright, and read to you today by Gammy. There's a geezer in our freezer, and he's shivering fit to die, with his feet upon a runt roast and his elbow in a pie. Maybe someone put him in there just to keep him for a while, but it gives me crawly creepies 'cause he's frozen with his smile. I was hunting for some ice cream, and I knew we had a stash right betwixt the Christmas turkey and the frozen corned beef hash. As I rummaged through the icebox, I was taken for a chill, 'cause I sensed two eyes upon me, and I felt an eerie thrill. Then I spied him in the corner, huddled back amongst the peas, and I started in to holler, but he stopped me with a sneeze. "It's so cold in here," he chattered. "Could you let me have a coat? Or something warm and woolly, a can wrapped around my throat?" Well, I shut the door right smartly. Wouldn't you have done it too, if a coot was in your freezer with his edges turning blue? When I told Aunt May about him, she replied, "Why, that's absurd." She's a little hard of hearing, so she shouted every word. "Don't you think that I noticed something like a chattering gent?" Well, I guess she maybe wouldn't, except her eyesight's nearly spent. Wasn't long again I saw him. Aunt May sent me for some corn. He was shivering by the ham bone, and his face looked so forlorn. "Can you spare a bite of something, for to warm me up a touch? I'm so tired of eating snow crab, maybe chili beans or such." When I spoke of it to Auntie, she just squinted up her eyes. Like I said, her vision's failing, though she's hardy otherwise. Well, I think that freezer's haunted by the ghosts of suppers past, 'cause I sometimes hear faint whispers. I was sorry now that I asked. 'Twas a Friday night, I reckon, that I met him once again. I was off to fetch some taters from the garden produce den. Sure as shooting, he was in there, icy-haired just like before, with a frost upon his eyebrows. Well, I had to shut the door. "Now you wait a god-darn minute," cried the geezer with a squeak. "I don't think that I can take it, not another blasted week." I kind of froze a minute, almost two, and then I spoke. "What you doing in our icebox? Where are you from, and where's your folk?" Well, his eyes turned far and misty, and a tear ran down his nose, where it made a little rainbow in the light, and then it froze. "'Tis a tale that's long in telling," said the geezer with a sigh, "but I reckon I should tell it once or twice before I die. I was sent to fetch some victuals by the woman I adore, and I paused in here to ponder on the joys of sweet amour. But I tarried much too long here, and I fear her love has grown old, and I reckon she's forgot me, or she thinks my heart's turned cold. See, I met her in the springtime when the blush was on the rose, and we courted through the summer, sipping sodas nose to nose. In the fall we thought we'd marry at the church away in town, and we snuggled up together while the winter hunkered down. But we never saw the snowfall, nor the autumn did we wed. I've been stuck here in this freezer," were the words the old man said. "I can't budge one way or t'another. I can't even turn about. Guess I've frozen here forever, expect I'm never coming out." I was quiet for a second, but I couldn't hold it in. That old laugh and bubbled forward. First it started with a grin. Then it burst right out with hiccups, and I rolled upon the floor, and I giggled and I snorted till I couldn't laugh no more. "Looky here, you silly geezer. At that switch there on your right is a self-defrosting freezer. It'll do it overnight." Then I pushed the button for him, and I went upstairs to sleep. When I came back in the morning, there was water 2 feet deep, and that frozen pot was sitting on the stove with eyes aglow, while my Aunt May stood there squinting at her thawed-out Romeo. "Is that you, my frostbit pumpkin? How I've missed my darling man." That old gent sort of giggled, then he blushed and kissed her hand. Now that cogger is our lodger, and he's living right downstairs in the room next to the furnace. He said he's done with frigid airs. The end. We have so much more to learn. Be blessed.